Hello, beautiful and dauntless. As you know, our magazine for April has been released and its title is Growth. It's a very exciting theme. It's actually one of those things nobody really likes to talk about. But as you know, I write the monthly article about Proverbs 31, and we always take a few verses from Proverbs 31 and incorporate it with the theme and just give you guys some applicable things to use towards your everyday life as a modern Proverbs 31 woman. I don't know, mom. Anyways, so today our message is entitled Growing Pains, and we are reading Proverbs 31, 29 through 31 out of the NKJV Bible. And I'll go ahead and read the verse for you, and then we'll get into it. So, many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Now give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Growing up, there was a TV show that I really enjoyed watching called Growing Pains, and I'm sure that there were a lot of other women that are watching this that are around my age that probably watched that too. It had Kirk Cameron and Leonardo DiCaprio was in it occasionally, and it just depicted the pains that come with growing up as a teenager. But the pains of growing never really stop. As long as we're alive, there's always going to be something that we have to grow through. And that's what we're going to talk about with the Proverbs 31 study today, verses 29 through 31. I'm going to go ahead and read the verses just one more time before we really start into the explanations of stuff. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So in reference to verse 29, how do you excel them all? Excelling above others does not occur overnight, cannot be granted by the queen, the president, or given by anyone else. It can only be earned by putting in the time and the effort. By allowing yourself to go through the stages and processes of growth throughout your lifetime, you can be one that excels above them all, both men and women. You know, this applies to everybody. There are many things in this world that hinder growth. You know, when you've gone through a bad breakup, people often turn to other relationships very quickly. They call it the rebound, you know, to cover up the pain of growth, and that stops the growth right in their tracks. But, you know, they're really supposed to be growing through that and learning from that relationship to be able to become healthier and move on to a more healthy relationship. People turn to alcohol and to drugs, and that helps numb the pain and the experience of growing, and it stops growth right there. I've read numerous studies that show when people drink alcohol or do drugs, they stop growing mentally and emotionally, and alcohol actually causes your brain to slow down. So that's why I don't do drugs or drink alcohol. But growth, trials, and testings in this life are all meant to shape our character, to shape us into the women or men that we are meant to be. When your character has been molded and shaped, you'll be able to be one of those that excels above them all. One of them that has her own works, praising her in the gates, as it says in verse 31. Every single person on this planet has been placed where they are during this specific time in history for a specific reason. Now, I personally believe that every person on this planet has been placed where they are during this time in history for a specific reason, for a purpose. Each one of us on this earth has a purpose. It says that in the Bible in many different places about purpose and how God's been given us a purpose. But the majority of people go through life, you know, either mimicking what their parents did or just following the person in front of them. They go through life without ever experiencing what it means to really live and excel at the thing that God created them specifically to do. You know, they feel incomplete because they've never stepped into their purpose, or maybe never even tried. They've not allowed growth to have its perfect work in their life. And growth is the process that we must go through. It's the journey that we must take to make it to our purpose. And growth is normally not a fun process. I can't actually think of a time where it was fun. It hurts, but it's needed if we're going to move forward and step up to the call that God has placed upon us. You know, right now, I'm trying to live out the purpose that God has for me. And a big part of that purpose is with the magazine and the videos and the podcasts and those things that I do. It's very difficult. You know, I'm working endlessly to grow this magazine and the audience that we have behind it. I'm working to spread the beautiful and dauntless message worldwide to reach as many people as I can. And a lot of time goes into this, but being where we are right now, not much money comes into it at all. And sometimes I just want to quit. I just want to throw in the towel, say I'm done, because it is difficult, you know, because I cannot afford to buy things that I need, because I feel like I'm not making much of a difference sometimes. And most of the time I just feel alone in the whole thing. I feel like I'm just doing this all for myself and all by myself. And I know that's not true, but I know that if I can make it through the stage of growth for me and for the magazine, that the reward will be very great. And I know that I will be one of those women that God says, you have excelled them all, daughter. I will reach the point where the work that I do and the work that my staff does and puts into this magazine will be praised. It will bring praise to God all over the world. I know that that's where we're going. You know, and this is why I continue to go through with this difficult season of growth. This is why I continue to go through with the magazine and continue to push and to put out this content and to just bring you guys the truth and to bring you the word. I want to live in and I want to live out my purpose on this earth before it's too late, before I'm gone. You know, once you leave, once you die, there's no coming back. There's no redos. So as verse 30 says, charm and beauty can only get you so far in this life, and they will only last so long. But in fearing the Lord, we will get the praise, and we will give God the praise through our lives. In fearing the Lord, we will allow Him to take us through the seasons of growth and difficulties. In fearing the Lord, we will walk into our purpose and live it out to its fullest. In fearing the Lord, we will excel above them all. What's the great thing about growth is, yes, you know, it's painful and it's not fun. The seasons are never exciting to go through a season of growth, but when you have God, He goes through it with you. You know, He's never going to just be like, okay, now you got to go through growth. I'll see you when you're done. No, He's right there. He's there to help you. You just have to lean on Him. You just have to talk to Him and just, you know, go to Him for your strength to get through the seasons of growth, and He will be there for you. So my challenge for you guys for this month of April is to allow growth to have its painful way in your life. Go through the growing pain process to reach the growing gains on the other side. Remember the saying, you have no pain, there's no gain. So, you know, go through that pain to get the gains that are waiting for you on the other side. They're great. I promise you that they are. So let's get growing. Have a great one, guys. See ya.